And this last part soils is very easy to understand, also very easy to understand. Not much is actually required to learn also in this. Okay, just you have to remember some important points with respect to each of the soil, where they're actually grown, where they're mainly found, and what are the main features of these soils, and that actually you must remember. And most of the questions will be asked based on that only. So just you have to remember all those important points which will actually help in that in the process. Okay, which actually help in the formation of these soils and everything. If you remember those kind of things, then you can easily answer any sort of question which are asked with respect to the soils topic. Okay, so let us start our topic. Okay, so while actually talking about soils, so soils are the ones which actually help in growing of the plants. If you think anything, so the land is actually composed of all the soils, right? So this soil is the one which will actually help us in the growing of the crops. So without soil, can we actually have can we actually grow the crops? No, we cannot actually. We cannot do anything without the soil, because soil is a base. Soil is the very important substance. It is a kind of a very important material which is important for the growing of the crops. Therefore, for anything, if you see also, for anything, for the growing of the crops, the building of the houses, for everything, the soil is very much important, because soil is the one which will form a base for anything. For construction purposes, for if you see for the construction, roads, buildings, railways, bridges, for everything, soil is actually very much important, right? So not only it is useful for construction purposes, it is also useful for the natural processes. Also for the growing of the crops, also soil is actually required. For everything, soil is actually the base. Therefore, you try to understand that soil is a base for everything. Soil is base for all the resources. For the survival of the human beings, only the soil is an important component which is actually present. Now let us try to understand how the soil is actually formed. So a few centimeters of the soil itself will take some millions of years together in order to form. So just a few centimeters of the soil, few centimeters height of the soil also will take some millions of years, because if you see anything, the first form of the soil is nothing but it is a rocks. So the rocks must be broken down into simpler and more simpler substances in order to have a final product, that is the soils. So this process will not take up in a very quick process. This will not take up in a very short span of time. So this actually takes a very long process. This takes a very long time also. Therefore, they take some millions of years in order to form together. Therefore, if you see here, they take some millions of years in order to form together, just a few centimeters in depth only. So why it takes? Because what are the different conditions which actually are required for the formation of soil is nothing but the relief, the parent rock, the vegetation, the climate, the vegetation. All these factors actually help in the formation of soil, and also the climate change, then action of running water. Then if you see action of the running water is also very much important. The glaciers, the activities of decomposers, all these can be organic changes which actually take place from time to time. All these things are very much important for the formation of soil. So I think now you got to understand that why soil is actually important. So if any question is asked regarding why soil is important, you must answer it. Then most probable question which can be asked from this, what are the different layers of the soil? So one is a top soil. So this top soil is a one which actually which is actually involved in the soil erosion also. So soil erosion is nothing but removing the top layer of the soil is called as soil erosion. So this top soil only will actually go away with the help of this all the materials, with the help of wind and water. This topsoil will mainly be resulted in the soil erosion. So this, for the process of soil erosion, this topsoil is mainly affected. That we can actually say that this topsoil is mainly affected because of the soil erosion. And the first most important layer, that is the upper layer of the soil. Therefore, this is the topsoil, is the most upper layer. The second most important, this subsoil, which is the weathered rocks and sandy material. So all the sandy material and clay rock particles are actually present in this subsoil. Then substratum is nothing but it contains the weathered parent rock. Okay, then it is a weathered bedrock. That must understand. You can just understand it. Okay. Then let us try to understand how the soils are actually being categorized. So based on the different kind of texture, based on the climatic conditions which they are grown, based on the factors, like what are the quality of the soil, based on the age, based on the chemical and physical properties, soils are actually being classified into 6 types. So the first important soil is the alluvial soils. So where are these alluvial soils are actually found? These alluvial soils are mainly found, if you see the map of a country. So these alluvial soils are mainly found in the regions of Uttar Pradesh, you can see, right? So this Uttar Pradesh they are found, then they are also found in Bihar regions, and they are also found in Delhi. In Delhi they are found, and they are also found in Haryana, Punjab. So in all these regions, alluvial soil is mostly found. So we must remember all important locations also, so that this will actually help you in the easy process of understanding also. So a very important map pointing question can also be asked in order to identify the type of soil which is actually found in all these regions. So this is the most probable question which can be asked. And let us try to see where they are found. So if you see they are found in which is found by the three important Himalayan river. It is Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra. With the help of all these three important rivers, this alluvial soils are mainly found. And they're also particularly found the eastern coastal plains, particularly in delta regions of Mahanadi also. That you can see. Just you can read it out, then you'll understand. So for all the soils, I'll request you to make a table. So you try to make a table about the type of soil. So first type of soil. So at the end I'll try to show how to actually make a table, so that this will actually help you in the easy understanding also, so that you just don't have to read everything before the exam also. Okay. And the third most and important properties of these soils are nothing but we have Khadar and Bangar. So what is Bangar? So what is this actually? Khadar is a new alluvial soil, Khadar, and Bangar. So Khadar is considered to be the new alluvial soil, new, and this Bangar is considered to be the old alluvial soil. And there are more conker nodules. So Bangar is actually having a greater conker nodules. So conker nodules are actually mainly found in the Bangar, and there are less conker nodules in Khadar soil. That is a new alluvial soil. And these two are the different types of alluvial soils that you can mainly understand. Okay. And the main difference also between Khadar and Bangar is it is more fertile. So Khadar is more fertile, whereas Bangar is very much less fertile. So these are the three main important differences. If they are asked, they are being this can be asked mostly in the 2-mark questions, and there is not much scope in the 3-mark questions. Okay, 3-mark questions not much. So mostly this is after 2-mark question. What is actually the difference between Khadar and Bangar? How Khadar is actually different from Bangar? Then so give 2 important features of Khadar also can be asked. So anything can be asked from this point. Okay. So mostly 2-mark questions. Otherwise, if 3-mark question comes, then you are very much lucky. You have to write all these 3 important points. Now let us try to see what are the crops which are mainly grown in this alluvial soils. So in this alluvial soils, if you see, the important crops which are grown are sugarcane, paddy, wheat and everything. So why these crops are mainly grown? Because it has potash, phosphoric acid, lime. So these are very much important. These are very much ideal. These are very much important. When these kind of nutrients, these kind of things are actually found in the soil, this will help in growing the crops more easily, and also it increases the fertility of the soil, and also it increases the nutrition content in the vegetables also, which are actually grown in these kind of soils. So therefore, these kind of products, with the help of as alluvial soils are actually having these kind of products, that is phosphoric acid, potassium, lime. Because of that only, all these kind of crops that are actually being grown, and it is also very fertile also. This kind of soils are also very much fertile in nature. They're very much fertile. They're intensely cultivated regions in the densely populated areas also, because Haryana, Punjab, in this all important regions, this alluvial soil is found. Because of that only, it actually made to this soil actually made sure to get more higher production also. Okay, that we can actually try to understand from this. Now let us try to understand what are black soils. So black soils are also called as rigor soils. So these black soils are also called as black cotton soil, because in this cotton is mainly grown. So in these black soils, the cotton is mainly grown. Therefore, it is called as a black cotton soil. So the climatic conditions, some certain climatic conditions are also required for the growing of these crops. And the type of this type of soil is mainly a typical soil which is grown in Deccan, Chap and northwest regions and everything, and Maharashtra, Malwa regions and everything. All this black soil is mainly found. Okay. Now let us try to see what are the different features of this black soils. So these black soils features are nothing but they are well known for the capacity to hold the moisture. Means they have a good water holding capacity. These soils are having good water holding capacity. And they're also made of extremely fine particles, that is a clay material. So clay material will actually help us in the growing of the better cotton crops also. And they are also having a good nutrient content also, because they're having calcium, carbonate, magnesium and potash. But they are actually lacking. So they are actually lacking in the phosphoric contents as compared to that of the alluvial soils. Alluvial soils are also having phosphoric contents, but black soils are mainly lacking the phosphoric contents. So if you see the regions which are mainly grown, the main black soil is mainly found in the regions of Madhya Pradesh, you can see, then Maharashtra also, then you can see Gujarat also. You can also see mostly Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh can be seen. So these are the two important states which can be seen. And if you want in more detail, then you can also see that a part of Jharkhand also this soil is mainly grown. Okay, that also can be seen here. So most important Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat you can mention. Okay. Then if you see this properties also, they lack in the phosphoric contents, as I already told you. And they'll also form deep cracks. So these deep cracks will actually help in penetration also. Penetration means the water can easily seep into the soil. The water can easily go into the soil also. So that this will actually create a proper aeration also. Proper aeration is nothing but this actually fills the soil with a good nitrogen content also. This because why nitrogen is important, because this will help in the protein process also. For as we actually learn in biology, nitrogen will actually help in the protein fixation process. That is nitrogen help in forming of proteins, that is amino acids in the plants also. And therefore for that proteins we need nitrogen gas. So this proper aeration will bring the nitrogen gas. It helps in trapping of the nitrogen gas into the soil also. This creates a good nitrogen quantity. This also creates a good nitrogen gas in the amount of soil. Therefore it helps in better growing of the crops also. As you know that these crops are mostly clay in nature, so during the rainy seasons it is very much difficult to work in this kind of soils, because it becomes very much clay and unsuitable for going into these crops. Okay, so then let's see the red and yellow soils. These red and yellow soils are so red soil is mainly developed because of the crystalline igneous and the metamorphic rocks in the lower area regions, and the reddish color is mainly due to the diffusion of iron in the crystal. So if you see the real color of the iron is a reddish color because of the iron and in the crystalline metamorphic rocks. Because of that only these soils are actually in nature. They're actually in the hydrated forms, yellow color because they are in the hydrated forms. So they're mainly found in the regions like Karnataka, they are found Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and all the regions if you see here. Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, then Karnataka they are found. They're also found in Odisha, then Chhattisgarh, then Jharkhand and all these important regions. Okay, just you can go through them. So laterite soils. Laterite soils, an important question can be asked. So these laterite soils will actually come from the word later, which means brick. So these laterite soils are mainly grown in the tropical and subtropical climates with the wet and dry climates. Okay, and these soils are mostly grown in the very deep to deep. Okay, and from acidic content, these soils will have mostly a less than 6 pH. The soil content is mostly seen. Okay, it's not greater than 6, it is less than 6 the pH of the soil. And this soil is mainly formed due to the intense leaching of the rain. So intense leaching will actually help in the formation of these kind of soils, that is the laterite soils. And these are also very much rich in humus content also, but in a very harsh and other regions also, like for example in a very difficult situations also, in arid regions, that is kind of deserted regions also, it has a very less humus content also. And it is also seen that it is very much prone to erosion. Erosion is that it can very much, as it is found in the deserted regions also, this can easily go up in the wind easily. So that wind erosion is also resulting in the forming of removing of the topsoil of this laterite soils also. And they are mainly grown in they are mainly found in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and other regions, which are mainly where we can actually see this kind of laterite soils. And these laterite soils only the deciduous and evergreen forests are also grown. So this is very important question. One question will definitely come from this. Okay. Now let us try to see what are the arid soils. Arid soils are the kind of soils wherein they are mainly found. If you see, okay, forgot. Let me check with the laterite soils. Okay. So if you see the laterite soils, as you can see here, they are found in the Western Ghats, as in this Goa and region, Karnataka region they are mainly found. Western part of Karnataka and Goa region. And arid soils are mainly found in Rajasthan. Arid is nothing but it is the deserted areas. So you can write all the features of the plants which are grown in the deserted areas where they have less moisture. The moisture content is very much less. Therefore, you can write everything. You have very high temperature. The evaporation is also very much less also there. And evaporation is also very much faster, and soil content will also lack fertility because everything the land is mostly barren. Most crops are not grown except cactus and everything, and the lower horizons of the soil also filled with conker and everything. This also increases the calcium content downwards, and so it has a very dry climate, it has very hot temperatures, the evaporation is more faster, because of which the cactus plants will actually trap the water inside it. Therefore this will actually prevents the transpiration process also, that is a loss of water from the plants. So because it needs water also. Okay, and then forest soils. In these forest soils is nothing, they have very heavy rainfall also. Means there are regions where there is a sufficient rainfall, there are regions where there is a heavy rainfall also. And this soil will mainly differ from place to place. These are mainly found in Arunachal Pradesh, like in Sikkim, this is found, and Jammu and Kashmir. These are three important states. Okay, and these are loamy, and they are also silty, and they are also coarse grain in upper slopes also. And in the snow-covered areas of Himalayas also, these soils can be seen, and they are mostly acidic with low humus content. Okay, this can also be understood from this. Okay, then now let us see what is actually soil. As I already told, soil erosion is nothing but because of the removal of the top layer of the soil because of the human activities, because of nature itself. It is not that only the humans will actually help in the soil erosion. It is that the nature itself is also causing the soil erosion. For example, if you see the wind erosion is caused by the nature itself. Then the wind erosion, water erosion is also can be seen here. So let us try to read this so that you'll actually understand. So the process of soil formation and soil erosion. So the soil formation and soil erosion is actually a balance which is actually created in the environment. So between these two things. So the soil which must be created must be actually lost also within the environment itself. But because of the human activities, because of the greedy and the selfish motives of the people, this balance is being disturbed. This balance is actually there. This is actually kind of disturbed. Why? Because of the deforestation, overgrazing, construction activities, mining activities, and everything. This is more disturbed. Wherein the soil erosion is actually happening more than actually the formation of the soil. So this, see, always that, if for example, let us take an example. If the 10 grams of soil is actually formed, then 10 grams of the soil is actually lost. Average, for example. But what is happening now here? 100 grams of the soil is actually being lost. So this is not creating a huge balance differences also. So because of that only, this is causing more soil erosion. And there are two different types of soil erosion. That is a gully erosion. As you can see, this is forming a kind of a channel through which the water is actually cutting through the soil. That is, it is forming a deep channels. Then it is called as a gully erosion. As you can see the picture here, it is forming some deep channels here. Then it is cutting through the soil and it is forming a deep channels. Okay. So as you can move, so when you actually pass water through soft soil, this actually will happen. Okay, gully erosion and sheet erosion. Sheet erosion is a kind of situation wherein the soil erosion is actually being caused by sheets. Means the soil will actually is moved away, is washed away with the help of sheets. Okay, so water will flow over the sheet over the larger areas, and in such areas also because of this soundlet, this is causing the sheet erosion. Okay. Then wind also will help us. So first we have seen gully erosion, wind erosion, and also and sheet erosion. Gully and wind sheet we have seen. Now let us try to see what is actually the wind erosion. So this wind erosion is also very much important because of the heavy winds. Also the top layer of the soil is being pushed away, that has been taken away by the wind also. So this is actually seen. So how we can actually prevent this soil erosion? So how we can actually prevent this prevent this soil erosion and everything. So we can actually prevent that. So how we can do that? So we have to follow some certain processes. That is first one is a counter ploughing. Counter ploughing is nothing but, for example, if you think there are some counters which are actually built like this. So in that some kind of a wall kind of a structure was actually built so that it ensure that wind erosion not happen around these walls. And it also ensures that the wind erosion is not happening, so that the water will not the wind will not take away any of the soil. And the contact loss, which this also decelerates the flow of water down slopes. Means also will reduce the flow of water along the slopes also, and therefore this will reduce the what is the soil erosion. First point. And second point is the terrace farming. Terrace farming can also be cultivated in the Himalayan regions where there are no plains, where there are mostly mountains. Also, this terrace cultivation can be used. This will also restrict the erosion, because if you see, this is the mountain if you think, and in the terrace cultivation, wherein huge walls are actually being built like this. So this will actually ensure that the water is not moved anywhere, and also the soil is also not being taken away by the water. So this terrace farming is very important. Second point. Then strips of grass are actually left out to grow between the crops. So this will break up the forces of the wind actually. So this is known as strip cropping. So strip cropping is nothing but some kind of crops are actually being grown in between. Some grass is actually being left out. So for example, the crops are like this. For example, if you take this patch of land, here the crops are grown. So here the crops are grown. So some grass is actually left out, so that if any erosion will actually happen, it will happen here only. So that this also helps in increasing the productivity of the crop also. Fourth one is you can do mulching also. What is the actual mulching? Mulching is nothing but, for example, this. You think this is a crop? I'll try to show it. So this mulching is actually, what is actually mulching? Here there's some kind of a grass. So I think you might have seen the white color grass, which is actually kept to the dried grass, which is actually kept to the cows, right? So that kind of a grass is actually kept on the soil. So this mulching will actually prevent the wind erosion, because if any huge winds also come, this mulch only will move away with the soil, so it will not take up the soil because it is covered on the top of the soil. Therefore this will actually help in the preventing from wind erosion. And also if there is no wind erosion also, this mulching will actually decompose into the soil and will act as a natural humus. It will act as natural nutrients to the soil, that is humus content. So this is the fourth point that you must mention. So then there's a very important point is mulching. And the shelter belts also. So planting the trees in order to create the shelter belts also helps in the, for example, do you think this is a tree? We have to plant the huge trees in one straight line, so that like a straight line, so that this will actually help in preventing the erosion also. This shelter belts will actually stabilizes the sand dunes and also reduces the stabilizes the deserts of the Western India also. For doing all these purposes, this kind of mostly the question which can be asked from this section is about what are the different soil erosion methods which can be used. So it's a mostly 2-mark question which can be asked from this thing. Okay, so just you have to mention the techniques and what are the causes of soil erosion, what are the mention of the techniques which can be followed. So if you do these both things, then you can easily benefit. So with that, I'll actually end the session. So that's it. With this, we actually complete the chapter, and hope you have actually understood all the concepts. So if you have any doubts also, you can just comment them down so that I'll check them down definitely. Okay. So in the next class, we are mainly going to learn about federalism as well. Federalism we are going to learn, and economics we are also going to see. Let us see what we can actually do. Economics we are going to complete actually mostly. Okay, that we'll see. Okay. So thank you everyone. Until then, bye bye.